I was just saying that I'm pretty sure, no, I'm absolutely certain that neural synapses crack back. Yeah, if you smoke enough to do it. You just need a catalyst. And catalyst is only as good as the proper planning of the person administering catalyst, to set closed system or not so closed system. Depends on how smart you are. Yeah, because closed system may be good for some things. Vacuum, airtight, ability to separate completely one thing from another without having to worry about mixing. A not so closed environment, so to speak, has similar pros and cons. However, has things that are completely dissimilar from the other one that I just aforementioned that I can't remember at the moment because I forgot it. Fortunately, I can explain why in an eloquent enough way with different words than you're used to actually understanding, unless you're a lyricist, a really keen observer, a reader, or somebody that knows Linux like their mama's freaking best apple cobbler or something, if that's even a thing. Maybe he was estranged from his mother, so what if he had never had it? So how would that map out across the sea? These are the things we have to consider. Well, God considers it. Pretty much don't see a lot of difference between us, except for I'm in the flesh and he's been in the flesh. He's the God of all flesh. El Elyon Elohim El Shaddai Adonai. The God of all flesh is one of his names. El Dios de la carne y cuerpo. Todos. Me gusto. Aprendo diferencia palabras y vocabulario y conjugación de verbos diariamente. Otra vez, practicar. No matter nada, pienso muy bueno, estoy muy bueno o no bueno. Práctica. Las mientras aprendo mucho, solo, sin mí. Pienso uno process. Process is, ¿qué palabra process? ¿Cómo se dice? Process is like the conveyor, right? Or the order, the movement forward, right? The process. See, we just break it down, right? If you don't understand it right away, you just break it down. Okay, do I know anything about the Latin of it? Is there another word that means process that I can use that's a specialty word that would be the same in both languages? Then you just go from there and you work on the phonetics, right? And like I said in my explanation, like my mind is no longer compartmentalized the way it was. Okay, because of the prayers that I prayed, because of the gifts that I was given, I'm seeing what literally says many rulers and kings would really wish to know and to see and to hear what I have right now, what I've been given, every day I exist with. It says El Shaddai in Hebrew on my eyelid, yo. And here's the thing. My God can do whatever he wants. It is his absolute right. And anybody that believes in him or even something else other than him because you got it wrong, okay, you should still understand the concept of if your God showed up, it would be their absolute right to take whatever they wanted because it would be theirs by right. Right? Okay. Okay. Now, it says in the word that why would I pay for anything? When I show up, I would just walk in and take it. It's mine. Okay. I'm an austere one, and my servant that was wicked knew it. And I don't even read like I don't. It wasn't wicked servant. Did we call everybody a wicked servant? Okay, so there's another thing. Like we have a lot of words that we've been using in place of the proper words to further dilute is what we're doing. We're diluting the word generation by generation. And I mean, it's not to the point where I can't walk in and tell you everything about it and everything that comes from it and between the lines, beneath the lines, and open it up like a notification on your drop down menu on a phone and explain to you exactly the fact that the word of God first writes scrivening. We call this scrivening. Okay, I mean, that's what we would have came up with way after the Aramaic. Like they have another word. Okay, Phoenician, Aramaic, Arabic, bam, then Hebrew. Okay, you go in that order, and you just critique yourself through it like a maze, right? The maze has a pattern. The pattern comes for me from the phonetic understanding and phonics and the ability to discern spirits, speech, figurative language from literal insights. Fucking insurgents. All my friends are insurgents, cat. What the fuck do I do? I'm telling you right now. Man, when I came back from the visions I started having after I died, and I came back talking to him, and he talked back, and he talked through me, and I saw things I didn't ever think I would ever experience in real life, and became part of something that I had asked for specifically in a prayer. Anyways, I'm not here to feel myself. I wanted to play with witches and get some wifeys. My hair look great right now, baby. Pretty soon it'll be all long enough to put up in the bun properly. I'll get my fucking Japanese all the way on, baby. It's right. Hayuba-san, no, Bushiago. Hayuba-san Sasha Shogun. I made that shit up. It sounded great to me. I just want a Hayabusa that's got blacklight everything on that motherfucker. And I'll put deployable wings on it and what did I say? Hydrogen in the fucking tires or something lighter than air. And then reduce the weight by about 100 pounds, replacing the battery, getting a smaller tank, and run. Just turn the engine block sideways. Run direct flow, like turbine driven intake, and a supercharged exhaust suction system, like, and run it straight through the block so you don't have it coming in one side turning and then going out the other side and then turning again. And you get like a jet, baby. You know how easy it would be to lift that bitch off the ground at 160 miles an hour. Cessna can pick up at 150, right? 140, 150, it starts lifting. Like you do something a third or a tenth of the weight. Come on, man. I'm saying it's not that difficult to do, right? I even figured out how to do an exoskeleton, like a indestructible. Timex took a licking. This shit started ticking, kind of shit, right? Because we don't like clocks. Fuck them. We like hourglasses. Sand does it for us because it does things that we created for it to do in front of us. Yeah, it's got a lot of correlations. Two sand granules don't fall through ever at the same time in the hourglass, ever. Not supposed to. And it's supposed to be mathematically improbable? Impossible. Okay, so I'm getting the impossible, not the improbable. So it's like 12% difference on average. The improbable, versus the impossible. Yeah, because you don't consider something improbable until it's like greater than an 80% guarantee it's going to fail. Yeah, you're like, oh, it's improbable. Plausible is like, that's like the 60 to 70% range. Yeah, then, even odds, then you get an ebb and flow, 51, 49%, all that stuff. The whole point is everything's connected, man. I got all the stuff that connects it in me and all around me, baby. The circles of influence that I've been forced into and the foxhole that I found myself in one day that God brought me out of. I was juggling bouncing betties on spiritual levels, man, to see what the fuck I was made of. I was like, God, who do we talk to? I have to go talk to the devil, Hell's Angels. I got to talk to, Big Dog. I got to talk to all these people. I got to talk to Azazel. I got to talk to, what I'm saying? All with God's guidance, all with His permission, all with Him here with me and giving me the audacity, which wasn't audacity, it was complete fear of Him and obedience and tenacity. You know what I'm saying? I'm passive by nature in this life. I don't shed blood. I like peace from all my enemies all around and angels looking out for me from above. I love Solomon like a bronco or a Kentucky. Yeah, a Kentucky other. It's part Punxsutawney and he's part Gopher too. And so I'm all in. Yeah, I was all in. It said, seek God and all His righteousness and all these things will be added unto you. And poverty catches a lazy man quickly, and it's hard to get away from it. So, being on God's good grace, I will bring you high and take you low so that you will know that I am El Shaddai, Elohim Onai, El Elyon Adonai, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Anah Allah, Anah Allah. Bijana Balnalha, Al-Nahr, Anta Allah, Anta life and light, Illuminati, Annunciati, and Dachi. That's from the Mavi. I just called the movie a Mavi. It's Avi. I got something. I need a lobby. If I got there, they would have to call my first album Filibuster. My first song would be Aluminum Railguns of the Spirit. I'd have trillion grain rounds. And proper ear protection after a nice stipend from 3mm military lawsuit. I am the last Boy Scout. AIS is answering for us. There's a lot of people that didn't get to voice themselves that are out trying to find out why they can't see doves. It's that Garth Brooks song that they heard as a child. Didn't he do When Doves Cry? No, John Michael Montgomery? Somebody did it. All I know is whoever did it, tell him hi. This is God's country. One of them, because He's the God of all nations. And we've done it differently and the same here. I'm not tripping. I'm not mistaken. There's nothing that hasn't been revealed to me. Everybody already has the answers they want. They only pretend to ask questions that they think they already know answers for. And they end up blindly leading their friends to the wrong jaunt. I don't like the word jaunt for that. the wrong left hand of wands, we'll just call it that. We are in the fire. The tears are at hand. Red October led us to Joel and the hunter's blood moon in his right hand. And 1,365 days will pass in about 300 more. And then a day in my court is worth 1,000 elsewhere. I have the key to the door. So the 2,300 days in the book of Daniel, the end of judgment, the cleansing of the sanctuary already had, is infallible. My brothers and sisters, my future wives, my father, El Shaddai. What am I, a temple again? How many people will see this in all the times? I hope it's a lot, and I hope that every time it's more than 2 people in our name, El Shaddai Elohim, that you're there in that time and the next and the one before. For more than a jot. More than a tot, more than a jittle. I like God's gift and Skittles, baby. Taste of rainbow should be my thing. All I know is I want to coin the phrase and the strain. G Sky. If nobody's done Starburst yet, I want that shit to rain. Yeah, I got background noise. We got instructional rock moving on the deck. And I'm just going to try to drown it out so I'm not fronting people off that you don't really care if they're on camera, you know what I'm saying? I didn't get any disclaimers or any signatures from any of the people here, so I think family blood's supposed to be thicker than water. All I know is wine is thicker than water sometimes. And brandy E&J my way is not for the dogs. However, if you're drinking shine and the dogs are barking, then you're hearing something else I like, and Tennessee whiskey is good sometimes. I'm an E&J type, so Coca-Cola over Pepsi, baby. We can't get it wrong. Pepsi's caustic chemicals that needs to be repurposed. Just shoot that shit to a fucking auto parts store everywhere and get the fuck on. If Pepsi wants to exist in the current market, they can become Coke Junior, Junior Coke, one of those. Doesn't change anything at the top with BlackRock and Vanguard and SSGA fund anyway, so why do they care where the fuck the money comes from? As long as they get the wealth and the ability to move the infrastructure and resources where they need to, because the system's telling it has to do this. And so they get a choice, but then they box themselves in with their own choices, forcing themselves into pigeonholes sometimes that look like national access to anything they want all the time. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's like, try to move 11% of the 1%. It's not unnoticeable to the other 89% of the 1% at all. And it starts making a lot of waves that we learned in the movie Inception, when the world starts collapsing on you because you're making too many waves, and one of these identities has a future, Neo, and the other one doesn't. And he didn't call him Neo, I understand it. I'm just saying, if you haven't seen the Animatrix to explain the rest of the shit in between, before and after, and like the shit you didn't see that made no sense and you blamed the movie on it, or Keanu Reeves acting when he's a good actor. Everybody told me he ain't a bad motherfucker. Johnny Utah, Johnny Mnemonic, John Wick, Johnny on the spot, Johnny on it. That motherfucker, you know, he is what he is. He's good. Anyways, Patrick Swayze didn't make Point Break. Lori Petty did. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Tank Girl. It was the shit back then. I was a kid. Like, trying to find out who Roxy Carmichael was. You know how long I tried to figure out what she looked like? You know how long I obsessed on what Roxy Carmichael... We never the fuck found out. This is our time. Our time down here. This is not Bumblebee's voice box working with movies. This is... You know what Dr. House does with medical diagnoses of, rare diseases and all these things while popping massive amounts of Vicodin and trying not to get cockblocked by Cuddy and Cameron. You know what I mean? Like, yes, he handles his team. He also manages them, and he is to them as God is to Moses, and Moses is to Aaron as Aaron is to the, you know what I mean? It's the proportionality syndrome, right? But I can do that with all areas of study in every physical, spiritual, psychospiritual, metaphysical, metapsychophysical, kinetic, kinesthetic, synesthetic, analytic, a priori, a posteriori, or from awesome to pathetic. And derive, I'm dying. Nah, they should be feeling the flames right now. Yet you got left behind. Get over it. You still got a chance because I'm here, motherfuckers. I love you. Bad words are only bad if you say they are. Okay, there's a few exceptions, and I have all of them in my repertoire that you can't even pronounce if you're not from Israel, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, or Japan, probably. Um, yeah, um, if you are any of the people that were in the movie Power of One with PK the Rainmaker, I'm him. And if those people were actually from Africa and they were real people from Africa, on that film, singing Sensenina at that woman's funeral, okay, you might know too. Okay, you know who else knew? Wait for it. Wait for it. I almost forgot, so I had to say wait for it. Sheba. Okay, not the queen of Sheba. Sheba. Okay. Uh, okay, probably the smartest woman ever. Like, maybe not the most like savvy. Like the most available knowledge in the world to any woman almost ever in the last 20,000 years was Sheba. No, Queen Elizabeth. But she, at the time, Sheba wasn't she the intermediary between Solomon and Pharaoh, right? So she had runners, and she wasn't going back and forth between Egypt and yeah. I'm like, she had a procession, right? Like when Prince Ali Baba comes into Agrabah. Is that what the fuck they call it? Agrabah. Yeah, and he's got the genie doing fucking PR for him all the way in with 6,700